Hey, what's up guys, PvE here, and this is going to be a Discipline Priest guide. I'll go through the talents and glyphs and stuff. Stat priority, it's just a beginner guide for anyone who's looking to start playing a Discipline Priest. So for now I'm going to go through the core abilities. You get Permanent, Penance, Flash Heal, Heal, Great Heal, and Power Shield. I'll talk about these in more detail later, but they're the main ones you want to be using. So they'll come, I'll talk about them later. For now, I'm going to talk about the talents. Okay, so on the first row, this one's all situational. This is all different CC. Depending on what's better for the fight you're doing, or whatever you prefer to use. I currently am using this. If you need to root something, use that. You know, if you need, it just depends. If you need to fear things, that one's always Siphon's always good. But yeah, it's completely situational, so and it's up to you. So the next row, this is like a speed up row. Phantasm is a PP talent, so ignore that one. Angelic Feather and Body and Soul are the two you want to be choosing out of. Body and Soul gives you more control when you want to use it, so whenever you choose to use like the speed up, then that, whenever you want to use it, that's great. But Angelic Feather means you can put it down and other people can choose when they want the speed up. It's all up to the player really. But so yeah, I like Body and Soul because I like to be able to choose when to control the speed up and stuff. Anyway, so for the next one, this is all situational as well. It all gives back. It's all about, I'm pretty sure. Let's have a look. Let's talk about this one here anyway. So with Discipline, you have a chance, 50% chance when you cast Smite or cast a healing spell to cause your next flash heal to be instant cast and have no mana cost. All this row is about mana, alright? And well, these two give you mana back. This one just, costs you less mana basically. I like to use this one because you do a lot of atonement healing. So having the more having this here is better for the the atonement healing stuff. All right, so yeah, you choose whichever one you want in that row. Usually it's out of those two. That one's okay, but I usually choose out of those two anyway. So for the next row, the two you want to be choosing out of here are Angelic Bulwark and Desperate Prayer. Like, the good thing about Desperate Prayer is you get to decide when to use it. Angelic Bulwark just procs when naturally, so you just choose whichever one you prefer. If you prefer having the control over it, then use that. If you just want it to proc whenever, you use that one. But here is the first row where something is better than everything else. Like Twist of Fate is always the best one on this row. It's really good for healing and for and for damaging, because you would do a lot of atonement healing as a Discipline. So Twist of Fate is really good and it's better than the other two for Discipline. So you take that one, and on the next row, this one depends on positioning. Cascade is better for when the raid is spread. Divine Star is better for when the raid is stacked, and Halo, it depends because it does more healing when it hits further away. So basically, you want to position yourself so that it hits the most people at 25 yards away. So if everyone's stacked, you could run away and sort of use it, or if everyone's spread, you can stand in the middle of them all and use it. It all depends. I like Cascade; it's quite cool, but that's better for it just depends how your raid is positioned. So yeah, I'm gonna go through my glyphs that I use. There's other glyphs you can use, and I'll talk about. I'll explain which ones you can use. But I use Penance, Holy Fire, and Weakened Soul. Weakened Soul is nice for the you can basically put more shields on people because the debuff lasts like 2 seconds less. Penance is nice because it just reduces the mana cost, and you can use it while moving. That's good for good for a lot of fights because a lot of fights involve moving around and stuff. And Holy Fire is it's the range. It's it's your smite as well. So basically that's just better for atonement healing. You can also use Binding Heal in a Sanctum. I don't know if I have any of those. Do I have Binding Heal? Let's have a look. I do. Yes, I do. It's just basically more healing. Now heals for it's friendly target. Okay, they must have changed that. I have anyway, and then there's also Fade. You can use Prayer of Mending. It all depends on your playstyle really, but these are the 3 I use. So yeah, they're the glyphs, and there's a lot of glyphs you can choose out of, but those 3 I find are the best ones. Minor glyphs are just cosmetic, so just choose whichever one you like for those, whatever. So now I'm going to go through the stat priority. First stat you want to be looking for is intellect, and then the next one is crit, and then mastery, and then spirit, and then haste. Spirit all depends on how much spirit you want to have. I currently have 11,000. I find that's okay. I've been healing a little bit on this. It's not my main, so it's not got the best gear, but that's plenty spirit for the raiding that I've been doing. It's just like the thing like TOT, LFR, and the normal raids of the tier 14. Like 11,000 is probably more than you need actually, so you could probably put into more stats if you're doing that sort of raiding. Mastery is better shields, and crit is just the highest overall output of healing. I think I've gone for mastery. This is back when. Oh, yeah, I think I've got mastery. Or have I gone crit? Yeah, I've got a lot of mastery. I like the shields. I played I don't think I've changed Reforged on this since last patch, but it depends on your gear also. If you got better gear, I think crit gets better as you get better gear. But for now, I'm just gonna stick with mastery. I think there's no point me changing it if I'm not gonna play this class much. But if your main's a priest, or if you're looking to start playing a priest, you probably should go for crit. Haste is useful for AoE because you can cast Prayer of Healing faster and stuff, on the AoE spells. But other than that, it's not really that useful. And now I'm going to talk about healing. There's no really rotation for it, but I'll try and talk about it a little bit. If you're going to be tank healing, you want to keep up Prayer of Power Word Shield, and you want to Penance on cooldown. Keep up Renew as well if they're not taking too much damage. Renew isn't that good if they're taking quite a lot of damage, so you probably don't want to keep it up if they're taking a lot of damage. If they're taking a low amount of damage, you just want to use heal, and you just want to use Prayer of Mending. If they're taking a lot of damage, you're probably going to want a greater heal, and still use Penance and Powered Shield on cooldown. And then there's also if you're in emergency, if you need to just flash heal. When I say power shield on cooldown, what I mean is the debuff. When the debuff runs off the tank, that's when you want to use it again. You just want to keep using that off cooldown, basically. And if you're healing the raid, what you want to be doing is you want to use more AoE spells, obviously, like Prayer of Healing and whatever tier 6 talent you chose. Like I chose Cascade. And keep Power Word Shield on a few targets. It costs quite a bit of mana, so you don't want to be spamming it on every target every 13 seconds. That'll just cost you a load of mana. It'll also be a waste of global cooldowns. But if there's a lot of damage coming in, you can use Spirit Shell. That's if you know there's going to be a big damaging ability from the boss coming in, you use Spirit Shell. And if there's high sustained damage, so if there's a lot of damage coming in all the time, just keep spamming Prayer of Healing. That's where it's good if you've got haste, because you can spam it a lot quicker. You see, that's 2 seconds. It's going to take a while. But yeah, so that's raid healing and tank healing. As a Discipline Priest, I think are better at tank healing. Holy's better for raid healing. I'm going to be doing a Holy guy as well, but I'll talk about that in that video. Now, as you see, I've got these things here. This is for the I'll talk about the ones later, but these are the cooldowns for disc. What you wanna there's a few. I've already talked about Spirit Shell. Barrier is also good for that's Barrier. You've probably seen Barrier. But that's good for if there's damage coming in. Pain Suppression is for the tank. You want to be using Inner Focus on cooldown. And Desperate Prayer I talked about before as well. That's one of the cooldowns. And then there's also Void Shift, which is swapping health with people. It's not obviously it's got quite a big cooldown, 5 minutes, but it's useful. But it's not it's not a major cooldown. I don't know. I've not found many occasions where I need to use it. I don't know. Maybe if you're doing heroic raids, as a priest, you might find more reason to use it. But anyway, these are utility spells for a Disc Priest. You've got Hymn of Hope, which is basically you cast it like Tranquility. It gives you mana back. Also increases your maximum mana by 15% for 8 seconds. So you want to be spamming spells in 8 seconds, and then your mana will go back down. But yeah, and then so that's got quite a big cooldown, but it's really nice. It's really nice. I don't think I've put it on this bar, but Shadow Fiend is also a cooldown for you to get your mana back. Fade is getting rid of mana. I mean, not rid of mana, rid of threat. There's Dispel Magic, which is kind of like Purge. that a shaman has, so that's getting rid of magic effects on enemies. There's Master Spell, which is basically a spell, but you know, it's got a big radius or whatever. There's Purify, which gets rid of a magic effect and a disease effect on an ally, and then there's also Fear Ward, Fear, and Shackle Undead. Shackle Undead and Fear is just CC, obviously. Fear Ward is quite nice. There's not. I don't know if there's any fights that have Fear anymore in these current raids. I don't think there is, but you know, it's there. It's a utility spell, and then there's Leap of Faith, which is it's always quite nice to have. Also, now I'm gonna which inner spell you want on. You want either Inner Fire most of the time, or if you're gonna be using a lot of instant cast spells, you want to have Inner Will on. But other than that, yeah, you just want to always have Inner Fire. You also have your Power Fortitude for your buff. That's obviously that's just like common knowledge in it. Priests have the HP buff. But okay, now we'll talk about the gems. I've got everything written down, you see, so I don't forget. Now I don't know if you have the legendary gem, you want to use the red legendary gem or like a revitalizing meta gem. In blue sockets or prismatic sockets, you want sparkling, the sparkling gems, sparkling River's Heart, whatever, and the spirit gems basically. Unless you don't need the spirit, but you probably it's best to gem the spirit and then reforge the other stuff. I think that's the best way to do it. In the yellow socket, you want Zen Wild. Let's have a look. Have I got any yellow sockets? I don't think I do actually. But you want Zen Wild gems for mastery and Misty Wild for crit. And in red sockets, you want the purified Imperial Amethyst, the Spirit and Int gems, and professions. Well, professions is just whichever one. Like I've got alchemy and tailoring. Tailoring gives me an enchant, but alchemy is a bit shit. But it's just an alt, and I wanted I've got alchemy on like 3 classes just for the cooldown, like the what's it called? I can't remember what it's called. Oh yeah, Living Steel. That's it. Living Steel. Trying to mute. So professions is whatever. Professions are like more min max than anything. So if this is an alt, then don't make a big deal over it. Enchants. Now you want the 200 intellect and 100 crit on your shoulders. I think it's 100 intellect. No, it's not 100. It's like 150 intellect, I think, or 130 on your back. I've got the telling one. You want either the spirit or plus 80 stats on your chest. You want the intellect bracer one. I have a mastery because it's a snow, and I'm not going to waste that much money on a gem. Especially since now my enchanter is on a different server now, so I don't have an enchanter on this server. And then you want either haste or mastery. I think first, if I discipline, you want the mastery one. I was looking at holy. Never mind. If you want the mastery one on your gloves and on your legs, you want 285 intellect, 165 spirit, and on your boots, you want Pandaren footstep or something. But it's basically 140 mastery minor movement speed. On your offhand, you want the 165 intellect, and in your main hand, you want Jade Spirit. I've got Windsong just because it's an alt. Now, I'm gonna go I'm gonna talk about macros, but it depends. Macros are all down to your playstyle. I like to have mouse over macros on pretty much everything, as I use what's this thing called again? Grid. I use grid and I just mouse over it and use the spells. You might want focus macros for atonement healing. And I'll talk about atonement healing in a sec. You want to either have a Leap of Faith one. I don't have one, but you can have a Leap of Faith one. Yeah, so atonement healing. I have it written down somewhere. Yeah. Well, basically you want to... Oh yeah, I'm going to talk about Archangel as well. Every time you smite... I can't really... I'll go show you. Be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and as you can see, I've got 2 stacks of Evangelism. Every time you cast a spell on an enemy, it's smite, and I don't think penance gives you one. But basically, you get to 5 stacks of Evangelism. When you use Archangel, you get 5% healing increase per stack. So for 18 seconds, so it's like, I mean, that's 25%. And you want to atonement heal whenever there's not too much damage coming in, and whenever possible, really, because atonement healing is a lot of healing. Like one smite does 11,000 for me, and I'm pretty sure that it hits more people. And then there's that that's 18,000. Penance isn't too much, but it actually is quite a lot actually. And then you want to use that a bit like Archangel whenever you're off cooldown pretty much, and then that's also more healing. As you can see, like atonement healing is actually a lot of healing. So yeah, so that's pretty much everything to know about Disc Priest. I think if you're just beating it and start playing Disc Priest, I'm going to do another video after this that will be me doing like either a raid boss or a dungeon healing, and it'll just show you how to heal like in an AoE situation and in a tank situation. So yeah, if this guide helped, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in part 2 of the Discipline Priest guide.